10. Do you remember the 2012 SEC Championship?
Do I ever?
The 11-1 Georgia Bulldogs and the 11-1 Alabama Crimson Tide?
Yeah,
What-
like it was
what-
yesterday.
What is a Crimson Tide, by the way? Do you know?
It's like a red wave. I mean, like crimson's a shade of red, right?
A red wave. Is there such thing
I don't know.
called a red wave? I mean, their mascot's an elephant, a red elephant. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Wouldn't you be the red elephant?
According to Google, Crimson Tide is the nickname of the University of Alabama. It's said to have originated in 1907. According to the university, Hugh Doc Roberts, a sports editor for the Birmingham Age Herald, is credited with coming up with the term after watching Alabama play to a 6-6 tie with Auburn in muddy conditions. The phrase Crimson Tide was commonly used at those times to describe the blood or life, often in context of poetry and war. In this case, Roberts is said to have had described the Alabama team as looking like a crimson tide because the red mud from the field had stained their white jerseys of crimson. Light crimson.
Wow, that's
So a little over 100 years ago, some dude was
That's
talking about how muddy they were, and it stuck.
how bloody they were. And that's morbid.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh.
The mud, the blood, and the ball.
I don't like this team.
I don't either.
I don't like Alabama not just for that reason, but that makes me not like them even more. Like Crimson Tide, you are an elephant. Anyways, this game was coached by Nick Saban of the Alabama bloody white jersey shirt people, and the Georgia Bulldogs was coached by Mark Richt. This was like his second to last year. I think 15 was his last year, I believe. This was a crazy game. You remember this game?
Vividly.
This was a crazy, crazy game. And, I think the final score was 32-28.
Yep.
But this game was a back and forth. I think Georgia at one time had a 21-10 lead, and they just stomped back. But this Alabama team was stacked. It had, A.J. McCarron, of course, was the quarterback.
Eddie Lacy at running back.
Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon at running back. They had Amari Cooper as one of the receivers on that team. Clinton Dix, was their free safety. Landon Collins was on that team. Kevin Norwood was their other wide receiver. They even had Kenyon Drake as a running back. C.J. Mosley was a linebacker. Nico Johnson was a linebacker. And D. Milner was one of the corners. This was a ridiculous team stacked on the side for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
Aaron Murray was quarterback. Who was the running back?
Todd Gurley II.
That's right. Keith Marshall was his backup. Tavares King.
My classmate, shout out to Tavares, one of our future guests coming up. He had a pretty big game that night.
We'll probably talk to him about this game when he comes in. Malcolm Mitchell, former New England Patriot. Let's see, Alec Ogletree.
Yep.
I don't know why I couldn't say that name. Was a linebacker. Jarvis Jones, Bakari Rambo, Damian Swan, Sanders Cummings, and Jordan and John Jenkins. Also, Chris Conley was a wide receiver along with Marlon Brown. And this game was ridiculous. So the scoring, it starts out, first quarter, nothing. Second quarter, I believe Jay Rome, who was the tight end, he caught a 19-yard touchdown pass from Aaron Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Then Eddie Lacy runs 41 yards.
He gone.
And that dude was not quick. He was just a bulldozer. He just ran through people. That's tied at 7-7. And then with no time left in the second, a 22-yard field goal by Jeremy Shelley gave Bama a 10-7 lead at halftime. Todd Gurley in the third quarter, 3-yard run. And then this play is insane. If you ever watch this game, this play is crazy. It's the blocked field goal, and it was run in by Alec Ogletree for 55 yards. That gave Georgia a 21-10 lead. This play right here is one of the main highlights you'll see from this game. It's beautiful. It's blocked. Ogletree picked it up. He gone. He takes it right into the end zone. That's followed up in the third. A couple minutes later, T.J. Yeldon 10-yard run, and they scored 2-point conversion, 21-18. Then we go into the fourth quarter. Eddie Lacy once again a 1-yard run, 25-21 Bama. Followed up a few minutes later by Todd Gurley with a 10-yard run, made it 28-25 UGA. This game's done, right? Georgia's going to win. Before 2021 came along, it was hard being a Bulldogs fan because of games like this.
It was hard being a fan of any team that had to play Alabama in that time frame.
Yes.
I mean, 3 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 4 minutes, 1 second to go in the game. We're up. We're winning. We got this.
Oh, yeah.
And then we punt and give the ball to Alabama. What were we thinking?
Well, you weren't expecting A.J. McCarron to throw a 44-yard bomb to Amari Cooper. I don't even think it was a bomb. I just think it was a pass that Amari Cooper ran for 44 yards into the end zone, 32-28. But then Georgia gets the ball, right? And they're driving down, and I think if I remember correctly, they made it to the 1-yard line.
That is correct.
And Aaron Murray throws a pass that's incomplete, and they lose the game.
No, that's the kicker.
Oh.
That's the thing. If Chris Conley drops that ball,
yeah.
A shout out to Chris Conley.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
He was in a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. If he drops the ball,
If he drops that ball at the 3-yard line, there's still 3 seconds left to go.
3 seconds.
But he catches it at the 3-yard or at the Alabama 5.
And gets tackled at the what?
He slides down, and because it's college, you're down automatically when you catch the ball, but he caught it in bounds, and we had no timeouts. But he caught it with like 4 seconds to go. So the fans just watched this guy selfishly catch the football on the 5-yard line and lay there as the game ends, because you can't spot the ball in 5 seconds and call another play.
And is this when they did away with the rule where if it's a first down, the clock automatically stops?
I think so. I think this was the end of an era.
Or maybe it wasn't even a first down yet.
Well, what kills me is here's the drive. We're going to do it. This is the first time Georgia's going to climb that Alabama mountain.
And if
there's a minute 2 to go.
If they win this game, this saves Mark Richt's job.
Absolutely. The drive starts on Georgia's 24. There's a minute 2 to go. This is supposed to be the Georgia drive of the new dynasty. Aaron Murray drops back, completes a pass to Arthur Lynch for 9 yards. 2nd and 1, Aaron Murray's pass incomplete. 3rd and 1, Todd Gurley, 4-yard gain. First down now, 45 seconds to go. Aaron Murray throws an incomplete pass to Chris Conley. 2nd down, 38 seconds to go. Aaron Murray completes another 15-yard pass to Arthur Lynch. Then we got another first down, 30 seconds left in the game. Murray, 23-yard pass to Tavares King, out of bounds for a first down. So 15 seconds to go. Aaron Murray gets a complete pass to Arthur Lynch down to the 8-yard line. We're on the 8-yard line. And it's first and goal with 5 seconds to go.
And this is the pass where Aaron Murray, he passed in the end zone. It was deflected by C.J. Mosley. And it was intended for Chris Conley, but it was he was kind of surprised to see the next play, he was surprised to see the ball.
Yep.
Or that's what he said. And when he caught the ball, he caught at the 5 and just
it was around the shoelaces pass. It was low pass, so he went down to get it, but he's already down by the time he catches the ball, and the game's over.
They said that he wasn't the intended receiver in the play, and that he caught the pass, he fell down inbounds at the 5-yard line, and the clock ran out.
And that was the end of the Mark Richt era, really.
So
that 4-point loss, that was devastating. I was in Atlanta that night. I was there for that game. In the city, rather. I'm not in the stadium. My friends and I were going to see Kevin Hart live at the Fox Theater, and it was an incredible show. Shout out to Kevin Hart.
I hear that if you sit in the back row, you can't even see the guy.
We were in the nosebleeds, and when he was on certain parts of the stage, he'd disappear. If he got behind a small speaker or something.
That's why he's friends with The Rock. He stands behind The Rock. You can't even see him.
But, yeah, devastating loss. devastating 4-point loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide in 2011. Incredible season the Dogs had that year, 11-2.
I mean, it really was. It was by far Mark Richt's best team. It was his best recruited team, and he was always a really good recruiter, but he'd bring in these players that always got in trouble. Like, they were the top players, but they always got in trouble for some reason or another. And
it's a trend in Athens, unfortunately.
And I think he was a little bit too nice of a guy. He was just like, whatever.
Mark Richt's a good, God-fearing man, and he had his hands full there in Athens.
So this game took place December 1st, 2012. The attendance, you want to know what the attendance was? The attendance was 75,624 individuals. They packed the old Georgia Dome to see this game.
Yep.
A.J. McCarron was 13 of 21 for 162 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Aaron Murray was 18 of 33 for 265 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The MVP of the game, Eddie Lacy, 20 attempts for 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. His counterpart, his teammate, TJ Yeldon, 25 attempts, 153 yards and a touchdown. They ran all over this Georgia defense. Amari Cooper, 8 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown. Todd Gurley man, 23 attempts, 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the lone reception was Jay Rome. He had 1 catch, 19 yards, 1 touchdown. But Tavares King, 5 catches for 142 yards.
Big game.
With his average of 28.4 yards per catch.
Sounds like high school right there. TK was always a big playmaker.
The top tackler for the Alabama red shirt bloody people, or red white shirt bloodied whatever people, confusing, red elephant, yeah. C.J. Mosley with 7 tackles. And Clinton Dix had an interception in this game. And Xavier Dixon had 2 sacks. Alec Ogletree had 11 tackles. He was the main leading tackler for the Georgia Bulldogs with the 1 touchdown on a blocked field goal. Bakari Rambo had 8 tackles. Jarvis Jones had 6 tackles and 2 sacks. And John Jenkins had 6 tackles and a sack.
And just for reference, so everybody kind of remembers the time frame, this year Alabama lost 1 game, the whole season, at home to Johnny Football Manziel.
And they went on to face Notre Dame in the championship.
And dismantled them.
And they won that game 42-14.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was a shellacking.
And Eddie Lacy had a game in that game too. He scored. He had 140 rushing yards with a touchdown, and he caught a pass for a touchdown.
I'm not a Fighting Irish fan, but for that national championship, I bought a hat at Lids just to support the Irish, and they came out, and I had to hear it from every Rolling Tide or whatever they're called fan in the room.
Roll Tide. That was the Manti Te'o fake girlfriend thing when that came up.
I remember that.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Manti Te'o was all-world elite linebacker, right? Yep. He was a beast in college. He had a pretty decent little NFL career with the Chargers, but he was a beast in college. Mm-hmm. And he had this online girlfriend that he thought was an online girlfriend, found out he was getting catfished, and she died. And they made this big deal about Manti Te'o playing this game for a girlfriend that he thought died. It wasn't a girlfriend that died. It was a dude that was talking to him online, and it was he never knew. He thought it was a chick.
Yep.
And
he got played.
He got catfished big time. And when this came out, it was embarrassing for him, and I don't really think he ever played the same again.
I don't either.
He was the butt of everybody's joke, and it came out right around the time of this national championship game.
Yep, and it was in his head. It really messed him up, and it was probably an Alabama student doing it to him, or a classmate. You never know.
I think it was someone out in California, I believe, but because it all came out and everything, it was a sad situation, but that was this season. That was that Notre Dame team, and he just did not play well in that game either.